Have you ever found yourself drifting through a day, watching the hours slip by without meaning? Maybe you sat staring at a screen, convincing yourself that just 5 more minutes of scrolling wouldn't hurt. But those minutes turn into hours, and before you know it, evening arrives with a weight of guilt and empty promise. This sense of being stuck, of knowing you have goals yet feeling powerless to move toward them, is what most of us call laziness. It is not a permanent trait or a fixed mark on your character. It is a habit, one that you can choose to break. Imagine for a moment that laziness is like quicksand. The more you struggle without direction, the deeper you sink. The more you learn to move with purpose, the firmer the ground becomes beneath your feet. In this story, you will meet Jay, a young person who learned how to step out of quicksand and into the firm ground of action. And you will discover how you can do the same. Jay was in his second year of college when laziness crept in like a silent fog. He had once been a student filled with spark and energy, waking before sunrise to read books that fascinated him, sketching designs late into the night, and signing up for every club and project on campus. Friends admired his drive, but one spring his spark began to dim. Assignments piled up, but Jay would push them aside, telling himself, "I'll start tomorrow." He spent mornings sleeping in, afternoons binging shows, and evenings scrolling through social media. His dreams of designing a sustainable clothing line were shoved to the shadows. He felt tension in his chest every time he thought about the work he put off, but the couch seemed more comforting than the empty pages of his sketchbook. One afternoon, Jay sat on his bed, phone in hand, the cursor blinking on an untouched assignment. He felt a sharp ache in his heart, not from pain, but from regret. "What happened to me?" he asked himself, staring at his reflection in the window glass. He remembered the fire in his eyes when he first sketched a dress inspired by recycled fabrics. He recalled the excitement that had pushed him to wake up at dawn, energized by the thought of creating something unique. He realized that laziness was not making him happy. It was feeding a quiet sadness every time he avoided his true passion. That moment of clarity became Jay's turning point. The next morning, Jay forced himself out of bed at 6:30, an hour he had not seen in months. His body protested, and his mind whispered that he could sleep for just 10 more minutes. But he sat up, planted his feet on the floor, and took a slow breath. Instead of reaching for his phone, he pushed away the covers, planted his feet firmly on the ground, and stood. He made his bed, feeling the strange satisfaction of accomplishing something before the day had even officially begun. This small act, so ordinary yet so powerful, was like flipping a switch in his brain. It told him, "I am choosing action." That first step led to another. Jay decided to work in short bursts of focus, 20 minutes of drawing, followed by a 5-minute break. He set a simple rule. When the timer buzzed, he would leave his desk, stretch his legs, drink water. No phones, no distractions. He used a basic kitchen timer, not an app that would seduce him with notifications. In those 20 minutes, he poured every ounce of energy into sketching patterns and designs. He felt the friction of pencil on paper, the rise and fall of his heartbeat as ideas flowed. Each small session gave him a jolt of accomplishment, a reminder that action felt better than avoidance. Of course, the habit of laziness did not vanish overnight. There were days when Jay missed his alarm, rolled over, and sank back into sleep. There were sessions when his sketches looked awkward and unfinished, but he learned to be kind to himself. He treated every attempt not as proof of failure, but as a step along a winding path. When he fell back into old routines, he simply noticed it, took a deep breath, and tried again the next day. He began to see laziness as a signal, an indicator of boredom, fear, or lack of clarity, rather than a permanent fault. This mental shift from shame to curiosity became his secret weapon. As he continued, Jay enlisted the help of a friend, Maya, who also had big dreams she struggled to pursue. They agreed to meet twice a week at a local cafe, laptops open, for what they called creative accountability sessions. They didn't nag or demand. They simply worked side by side, sharing progress and frustrations over cups of coffee. On days when Jay found himself gravitating toward excuses, Maya's presence reminded him of his commitment. In return, he celebrated her breakthroughs, which gave him fresh motivation. This simple partnership showed Jay the power of community in breaking the chains of laziness. Over weeks, Jay noticed a subtle but profound change. His mornings grew lighter, his steps more confident, and his mind sharper. He started to look forward to the feeling of having something to show for his time. Sketches that once took hours now flowed more naturally. He began to research sustainable fabrics online, email suppliers, and even pitch ideas to a small boutique in town. Each message he sent and person he met chipped away at the weight of inaction. By trusting small, consistent steps, Jay built momentum that carried him forward. One evening, an opportunity arrived. The boutique owner invited Jay to display his designs in an upcoming pop-up show. The thought filled him with equal parts excitement and terror. Doubts crept in. What if people laugh at my creations? What if I freeze on stage? Laziness, always lurking in the shadows, whispered to him to retreat, to stick to safety. But Jay remembered the early mornings, the short drawing sessions, the buzz of the timer, and Maya's encouraging words. He said to himself, "I can do this." He practiced his presentation in front of a mirror, then for Maya, and finally for a small group of friends. Each rehearsal eroded his fear. The day of the pop-up show arrived. Jay set up his display of upcycled shirts and hand-drawn patterns. His heart pounded, but he greeted visitors with a steady smile. People admired his work, asked questions, and offered praise. A local blogger snapped photos and promised to share them online. By the end of the night, Jay was exhilarated. He realized that the person who once wasted hours on the couch had become someone who could seize opportunities with confidence. He felt a deep sense of pride, not because he was perfect, but because he had chosen action over inaction every single day. After the show, Jay looked back at his journey. He saw that laziness had not been an enemy to vanquish in one epic battle, but a habit to replace with new routines, small victories, and supportive friendships. He understood that motivation often comes after action, not before it. He discovered that each tiny step, waking up 5 minutes earlier, sketching for 20 focused minutes, sharing goals with a friend, built the foundation for larger leaps. And most importantly, he learned to treat himself with kindness when he stumbled, because every person who reaches a goal has faced moments of doubt and delay. Now, imagine yourself in Jay's place. Think of a dream you have tucked away, starting a project, learning a skill, improving your health. What if you began with just one small action today? Could you wake up 10 minutes earlier? Could you write one paragraph, paint one stroke, make one call? Picture the satisfaction of crossing that first feat off your mental to-do list. Feel how the tension eases when you trade avoidance for accomplishment. As you build on that first step, each day offers a fresh opportunity to choose motion over stillness, action over excuse. Laziness may knock at your door, offering the comfort of the familiar and the thrill of immediate distraction. But remember, Jay's story, comfort that costs your dreams is a trap in disguise. If you let each lazy moment pass by, you may one day look back with regret. Yet every single day gives you the choice to move forward, even if by the smallest amount. You are stronger than your habits when you decide to act. You are more capable than your fears when you decide to try. And you are more powerful than your excuses when you choose progress. So here, right now, is your invitation. Stand up. Take a deep breath. Make one small commitment to yourself and follow through. The rest of the day is yours. Let the rhythm of action guide you, moment by moment, step by step, until laziness loses its grip on your life. And when doubt returns, remember, you have walked this path before, one small victory at a time. Just as Jay discovered, the power to stop being lazy lies not in grand declarations, but in countless small choices, repeated every day. Your future self is waiting, ready to thank you. It all begins the moment you decide to move.